Welcome to Aftersight, your home for stories for people just like you. Your vision loss journey isn't something to be ashamed of. Take a listen.
And that's the main thing I remember learning when I was taught the slack line when I still had vision, is don't look at the line below you, but look at your anchor point that's solid ahead of you.
If you want me to cook your dinner, you have to put somewhere it goes.
And I suppose part of this was also my own trying to figure out who I was and how to be in the world in this very new way.
I would say a potted plant, because I get sad when the flowers would wilt, eventually.
I'm going to say fresh cut flowers, because then I don't have to worry about killing a plant. I'm really bad at taking care of.
These people all have the same thing in common. You. Their stories are for your encouragement, your determination, and your inspiration. This is Aftersight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Aftersight. I am your host, Penn Street, and I hope your week is going well. Out here in Colorado, the sun is finally shining, and the weather is actually supposed to get up in the 50s today, so it's beginning to melt off that winter snow. But I think it's just in time for another big winter snow coming in a few days. So it's still winter in Colorado and will be so for a few more months, actually. So today's guest, we are going to dive right in because today's guest is the beautiful, beautiful Joy Ross. And Joy's a model, a mom, a wife. She's an athlete. She's a public speaker. She's so many things. She's a social media sensation and role model, and so much more. So you do not want to be multitasking today while you are listening to Aftersight. I want you, grab your favorite cup of tea or hot coffee or whatever you want to grab and find a cozy place in your favorite chair so you can really pay attention to what Joy has to share with us today. It's really important, and you will not regret it. So sit back, relax, and we will be right back.
You're listening to Aftersight with Penn Street, an AINC original podcast. If you enjoy what you hear, please visit aincolorado.org for more shows, news, and articles read by our amazing staff and volunteers. If you have a question for Penn or would like to recommend a guest for future shows, please visit aincolorado.org/podcast-guest. And now, here's your host, Penn Street.
Joy, welcome to Aftersight.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Well, Joy, I usually start off my show with just some kind of quick fire questions so that our audience can get to know you a little bit better before we completely dive into this. So, and I know you are a super bubbly, joyful person, and so I hope you enjoy this. So, Joy, if you had a T-shirt with a quote on it, what would the quote say?
Joy is a choice.
Ooh, I love that.
That's my motto. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Joy is
that.
a choice. And then if I had another one, it would be believing is stealing.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, T-shirt companies out there.
Yeah.
We're looking for some merch. That would be great.
I'm wanting to get my merch out, so getting some merch. And I'm going to definitely have those.
Oh, wonderful.
My quotes on different merchandise.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Would you rather be shopping in Paris or walk through the rainforest in South America?
Oh, shopping for sure. Shopping in Paris. Oh, my goodness.
Sounds good.
Love fashion, love shopping.
Yes, and people can definitely tell that on your social media. When you were 9 years old, what did you want to grow up to be?
Okay. I don't even know at 9 what I wanted to be, except I always loved medicine, and so I wanted to be like a doctor. Although I knew very early on that those dreams would not happen because I was partially blind,
Yeah.
by that time. But I loved medicine. I loved that. But singing was also my number one thing I loved. So.
That's wonderful.
It's interesting how things have changed throughout the years.
Well,
so.
yeah, and 1 out of 2 isn't bad. But honestly, I think what you are doing is medicine.
I agree.
It might not be in a pill or, a treatment, but it's definitely heals the soul. So I think.
Yes, I agree. That's what kind of I felt. I'm sorry. I have felt that too along the way. It's like, when I one day was reflecting on back, like what I used to want to be when I grew up, I was like, I wanted to be a cardiologist. So that was the doctor I wanted to be. And then I'm like, now I just am able to help heal hearts through my story and through my message. So, and then it changed. And then I was like, well, when I got into college, I wanted to be a speech, a professor, a speech professor and teach how to speak and public speaking. And I'm like, well,
I know
I'm doing that now. So
I know.
And I'm a teacher. So
you definitely are. So Joy, music is a big deal to me too. I use it, throughout my day to, I don't know, kind of set the mood or maybe even change the mood of my day. And so what if you had a theme song? So when you walk into the room, what would that song be?
Oh my gosh, like a specific song?
Yeah, do you have one?
Oh, I love this song. It's actually my name. It's Joy. And it's by this band called For King and Country.
Ooh.
And if anyone, knows it, you'll get it. It's the most, you'll have to look it up, Penn.
Yeah, I will.
And listen to it. It literally talks about like choosing joy, and it's this amazing upbeat. It'll make your day brighter. And I love working out to that song. And actually got permission from For King and Country, and I talked to them, and my husband talked to them, and told them my story, and they said, you have permission anytime you walk across the stage, have this song being played, like have it played when you come out. That would be amazing. They would love that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I love it.
That is so wonderful. That's so wonderful. Well, Joy, listening, you have, you're all over social media, and I listened to your YouTube video about where you shared your story. And I mean, I was in tears, even partial way through, but not just, it wasn't sadness. It was joy. It was, listening to somebody who was empowered by the circumstances that they were going through. And I know at 3 years old, you were sort of given this diagnosis and that you dealt with, but it seemed like you had really kind of wrapped your head around and you kind of were living your life with this diagnosis. But then when you became a mom and if I remember right, you were on vacation and with your little girls and husband, and things kind of took a turn for the worse. And I think a lot of us, me included, we struggle, you kind of lose a little bit of vision and then you kind of get used to that. Like, okay, I got this. And then you lose a little more. And it's like, here we go again. And it's this constant roller coaster. But could you share your sort of your diagnosis when you were 3, and then also when things really took a turn and really shifted your life into sort of the path you are on now?
Yeah, of course. So when I was 3 years old, my parents noticed that one of my eyes just didn't look quite right. My mom said the sunlight had caught my eyes, and one eye looked glossy and the other, my right eye, looked really dull. And that was the first thing she noticed. And they took me to specialists, and they looked at my parents and they said, your daughter's going blind. And they said that I had this disease called uveitis, which is basically inflammation of the eyes. So it's in the family of arthritis. So the inflammation that attached joints went to my eyes and began damaging them. Before the age of 3, it wasn't discovered until the age of 3. It was already in such a chronic state by that point. And, but having a toddler tell, that's like something. And I had one eye was better, it was better. So I was using that eye. So it wasn't like I was really having a struggle at getting around, I just started using that eyewear.
Yeah.
And then by the age of 5, I had cataract eye surgery on both eyes. And, they started me on like steroid eye drops and oral steroids. There was not a lot to treat the disease at that point. And then we're just trying to manage it the best way we could, and through surgeries and that sort of thing. And I never remember seeing out of my right eye ever. And my left eye, the best I could ever see that I can recall was like shapes and colors and movements just within a couple of feet. Like I would see like blurs of colors and things around me, but nothing was clear. I could never read large print. I could never, I had to sit up close to the TV. I use magnifiers.
Yeah.
For the left eye. So it was, but that's all I've ever known. I grew up with that basically. And after everything, I continued to battle the disease, and I also developed arthritis in my joints at the same time. So then that progressed throughout my life. So, but I've always had to deal with the inflammation, and it kept attacking the eyes, and they didn't develop better treatments for the disease until I was in high school.
Wow.
And then it was a chemotherapy drug called methotrexate. And I didn't do well with that drug, and came off, and then just more flares. And then, of course, with every flare, basically more loss of eyesight. So, yeah. And so and on top of that, of course, like I said, the joints were severely involved as well. And, just going through a lot of managing and pain. And then I have 2 sisters, and everybody else is healthy except for me. And I had to deal with a lot of that in schooling and overcoming my obstacles in that area too, as I was going through all of this other medical stuff and loss of eyesight. So, but fast forward, there's a whole lot in between. Fast forward, I met my husband, met him on a blind date.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, and people were like, huh? And I'm like, y'all can laugh. Y'all laugh. It was love at first touch.
Aww. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Trust me, I've got them all down, all my jokes.
Yes.
It's my favorite, so I just have fun with it. I always say, if you can't change your circumstance, you got to learn how to make the best of it. So,
absolutely.
So then we had our 2 beautiful girls after we got married. Isabella and Georgiana.
Oh, beautiful names.
Thank you. Isabella Joy, Georgiana Grace. And it was challenging being a mom, without eyesight and or very limited eyesight. And, but there was never a fear in me. And there was never something within me that says, maybe you shouldn't. I just knew that I was born to be a mom. And I knew with my husband and I together, we'll overcome, just like I've overcome many obstacles in my life. It's just one more. And I knew that I had this desire to be a mom. So we'll figure it out. And I was figuring it out, and while still managing everything, my health. Well, fast forward to December of 2007, our girls were 2.5 and 5 years old. And we were moving from Portland, Oregon to Fort Worth, Texas. That's where my parents were living at the time. And we wanted to get back towards them. And because our oldest was starting kindergarten. And so on our road trip to Texas, we decided to take the girls to Disneyland. Yeah. And it was, it was my first to Disneyland. I've been to Disney World, but never Disneyland. And the girls' first time. And so we took them, and it was Christmas time. And I remember walking into the park, and there was this big Christmas tree right in the front. And I couldn't see details of it, but I could see a blur of lights. And even that to me, of course, that's all I've ever known. So it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. Right, it's magical. Right. My little girls, I always matched them. And, they just beautiful girls. My Isabel's blue-eyed, and my youngest, Georgiana's brown-eyed. And they matched. They always dressed them the same, because with the eyes I had back then, I needed to have them match. That way they stood out as well from onlookers, other parents at the park or whatever. They would be like, those two belong together. Right. So if I asked a parent next to me or someone hey, I said, do you see my other daughter looks just like this one, just a little bigger, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh yeah, she's on the, monkey bars or something.
That
like, okay,
is
cool.
a great technique. My mom always dressed my little sister and I the same, but it was just because it was just easier for her.
My mom did the same thing with my two sisters and I too.
But interesting, she was visually impaired. I'm wondering if that she's passed away now, but I'm going to have to ask my little sister about this. I have never thought that is such a great idea. Sorry, that is just mind blowing. It's great.
Yes. And if I could give any tips, I love that too. To any other visually impaired parents out there. But I would, like pink hair bows, anything that popped and stood out. So, and identified them that they belonged together.
Yeah.
So that was really great for me. It was a tool. But it also was so cute.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So we were in Disney and they were so excited to meet the princesses and all this. So I was pushing my youngest in a stroller. So as long as I know, I could see right around me, right? And I know I'm not going to be, my husband and my older daughter, my 5-year-old were with me too. So I could push them in the stroller, her in the stroller, but something started to drastically change literally while we were in the park.
Wow.
My left eye, my only good eye-ish.
Yeah.
I used to say I'm blind in one eye, I can't see out of the other.
I'm there too. I understand.
Yeah. So I was like, something's happening. My left eye was getting darker. And I told my husband, something's happening. I had this curtain that was coming across my field of vision, starting from the inside of my nose and then and going across to the center of my field of vision. And it was darker. This whole area there was dark. And I'm like, what's going on? And then my eye was really irritated. And I wore a contact lens because I have no natural lenses,
Right.
So I wore a contact on that eye only, a huge contact. And it was dry and it was stuck to my eye. And I was like, something's happening. And I wasn't quite sure what was going on, except inside my heart, I knew I had this feeling.
Oh.
I thought to myself, is this a retinal detachment?
Mm.
And I've heard of the symptoms of retinal detachments, and my doctors had told me since I was a little girl that one day it could happen, but it was never it's going to happen. And I always thought, well, that day will never come because I've lived 30 years and good,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I was I don't know. I told my husband, we'll just push through. And as soon as we get to Texas after our trip, we'll go in and have a specialist look at me. So, but yeah, I was so grateful though, as we were on that trip, that I was able to get to experience my girls with their smiles and their laughter and seeing the princesses and meeting them for the first time. And as I'm telling the story, I can see it in my mind. So all my visual memories are still intact.
Yeah.
I can see my girls. Oh, I smile just thinking about it. Because if I make myself focus on that, they pop up into my view.
Yes.
In my mind.
Yeah.
And so when we left Disney, as beautiful and hard as that was for me, we got to Texas and I got into a specialist and things were not improving. They were getting worse. And I went and saw a retinal specialist. And I remember that day he looked at my eye and he sat back in his chair and he goes, well, it's not good. And he goes, your retina is coming off, it's detaching and it's healing. And we need to go in and have surgery immediately and try to rescue it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, if we do this, I could lose my sight, because I knew that trauma to the eye, like our surgery, has been something we wanted to avoid just because my eyes are fragile. But he says, well, if you don't have the surgery, you're going to lose everything anyway. And I'm like, oh,
how scary.
It was like my worst nightmare of is this really happening? I just can't believe this is really happening. And
right.
we went home and I was crying. I a mess thinking about my babies and losing the ability to see them grow up.
Yeah.
And I had this surgery scheduled, and the night before I went in, I went to see my girls laying in bed, and they shared a room, and I looked at each one of them, and I just studied their faces as they were sleeping.
Mm.
I'm seeing this exactly in their beds right now, and I can see them, and I just studied from their hair color, their eyebrows, to their beautiful lashes, their lips. Oh, and my oldest has like more of a fair skin, like porcelain doll, beautiful skin, and then my youngest is more creamy, beautiful, delicious, yummy like skin, and so beautiful. And my youngest has a dimple on her left cheek, and I just studied all that because you never know. Like, am I going to wake up and it's going to be gone forever?
Right.
I had the surgery, and when they finally removed the patch the next day, I was pleasantly surprised I could see a little bit. I'd lost a lot, but I was able to see light. But I was not able to see and make out my beautiful girls like I once was. And, they were hopeful that maybe we could get some of this back. And it was just like inflammation or eye pressure issues, but nothing improved. And I literally saw my world disappear so quickly. And that was the hardest thing in my entire life. Like, just learning how to, like, what am I going to do? How am I going to be a mom, my babies? Like, how am I going to enjoy them? How am I going to, like, all these questions were flooding through my mind because I've been good at compensating for my loss for all these years and figuring out how to get around it. But this was like, it would be like having perfect eyesight and then it's gone completely. And that's, even though my eyesight was not perfect at all, it was everything I've known. And it disappeared within just a couple of weeks. It was completely gone.
Wow.
And there was nothing I could do. And oh my gosh, my girls were, and my husband were my everything. And they were there to help me. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm the mom, and my babies are like guiding me and taking me by the hand, and let's go to the park. Mama here's over here, and Mama here's your seat. And I'm like, no. Like, I want to be mom again. Like, I want them to know that I can do these things. And I felt, I felt back to.
How did you move on? I know in the video I was watching you, when you were talking about just everything was fading away, even your own reflection in the mirror. So what happened? Like, how did you sort of pull your bootstraps up, or whatever metaphor you want to use? Like, what happened? How did you move on?
It was, it wasn't just one thing. It was a few things that helped me. It was little by little. I always tell people, don't expect to, after loss of sight, like, to get your independence, your confidence, your strength, get it all back, like your joy.
Right.
Don't expect it to come back overnight, or don't let anyone tell you that it should come back overnight, or you're going to just suck it up. You're going to be fine. No, it's a journey, and it's a process, and everyone's journey looks different.
Right.
For me, it was, my girls have been my best motivation in my life. Knowing that they needed me, and I still so desperately wanted them to look up to me and to see that Mama is capable, not just Daddy, but Mama.
Right.
And one of those first things that helped me to get back on track was getting a guide dog.
Oh.
And after the grieving, trust me, I went through grieving. I got on antidepressants and everything because I cried so much and was just a mess trying to figure out things. But getting a guide dog, my first guide dog, was truly like, was the answer to my prayers. She gave me hope. Yeah. So, her name was Antonia, a beautiful yellow white lab. She was gorgeous, and she, literally changed my life. And so I I gave her a middle name of Hope because she restored hope back into my life and gave me that independence and freedom. And with her leading the way, I was able to be that mom, at least for, like I said, it wasn't the one fix, the only fix, but it was the one thing that it definitely opened my eyes to see blindness in a different light.
Yeah.
And I realized the first day I went out for a walk with her at school, and I was like flying so fast. I was huffing, and the wind was blowing through my hair, and the sun literally was shining in January.
Yeah.
I was like in Portland, Oregon. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm like, I could see my dreams coming back to life again.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? They might look different. The dreams I had might look different, but I see now that they're possible, or it's okay if they change, but they don't have to be less than. They can be greater than. It's just
absolutely
gonna be different.
Absolutely.
And then after I brought her back home to Fort Worth, then my girls, we suffered another blow, and my girls were both diagnosed with the same disease as me within the next year. And so it was devastating when my baby at 3 was diagnosed with uveitis, and my oldest was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis in her joints. And the hardest day was when I was laying in bed with my Georgiana, my 3-year-old, and we were cuddling. She was on my right side, laying on my chest, and she looked up at me and she said, "Mama, am I going to go blind like you?"
Aww.
And I was like, oh my God. Hey, what do I say to my baby?
Yeah.
She sees her mama lost sight from this disease, and it's put fear in her, and I said, because of baby, there's drugs now, that medications that you have access to, that you're taking, that your sister and I were both taking, that I didn't have. You have hope. And I believe that, and we have hope as a family. We are a family of faith, and we believe that it's going to be okay. And I'm going to do, me and Dad are going to do everything we can to fight for you and your sister, that it won't happen to you. And from that moment forward, I realized, I got to really, it just gave me that drive to really do everything I could possibly do to be strong for my girls, to show them strength, to show them how to overcome adversity, how to find your joy even when you're overwhelmed with such fear. And so we started doing advocacy work and working with the Arthritis Foundation and lobbying on Capitol Hill and doing lots of things to make a difference. And like I said, we can't change our circumstance, but we can try our best to do, to make the best of it, to do good with that.
Right. How is their vision? I know they're older now.
Georgiana suffered no permanent damage. Went into remission after being on the strong medications, the methotrexate chemotherapy injections, and we were able to catch it so early on, and we did aggressive treatment, and she went into remission around the age of 7, and then it came back around the age of 10 in her joints. And like so many joints in her body, it came back. Not the eyes. So her eyes are good now. It's just managing her disease in her joints. And then my oldest, Isabella, it stayed only within her joints and never moved into her eyes. And they're both still on biological and, modern treatments. This day at the age of 17, I'm 20 years old now.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, like I mentioned, my mom was visually impaired growing up, and she was a role model for me, and I felt like she understood what I was going through more than anybody else. And when I listen to your story, it's like, I don't know if this is going to come out right, but it's like, what a gift for them. Because even if one or both of them had lost their vision, or who knows what the future holds, they have you as this really positive role model that they're going to be okay, or like right now it's staying in their joints, which I have. I too have arthritis in my joints, and there are some very bad,
so do I,
bad days.
Yeah, I still do to this day.
But that you are a role model to them, and that they know that, because I don't think there's anybody better to be a role model to our kids as we are. And, I have 2 stepdaughters, and one of them was in an accident, and we thought we were going to lose her, and they were doing flight to life out of the mountains to the nearest hospital. And she said that, and she was awake the whole time. They wanted to keep her awake. And she said, she goes, I kept thinking that, Penn, she calls me Penn, and that no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay, because, Penn has been through all this stuff and she's okay. I'm going to be okay. And I think that we are role models to our children in so many more ways than we think. So that's what strikes me with your story, is that it's wonderful that they have these new drugs and these new treatments that maybe they won't lose their vision. But I just know in my heart that if it does come to that, they're going to be okay, because mom has paved the way with strength and joy, and she lives a pretty freaking awesome life, and she's going to be okay. So
absolutely. And one thing I always say, I've changed some things in my language as I have been walking through this journey. And one thing that, and this is not like, I've heard you just saying visions several times, and that's great. But I decided for myself, I'm not going to say I lost my vision anymore, because I've gained so much vision through my blindness.
Yeah.
I've gained so much vision far beyond what eyes can ever see.
Yes.
And it has transformed me and made me better, and I see more beautifully. I see what matters most of all. I see people's inner beauty. I see their hearts. I see what we should all be focusing on. I'm able, even though I'm a model and I'm on social media, I literally I don't think about I don't focus on, because I can't, on what the mirror shows, but it's all about how I feel.
Right.
And for my girls, even if the worst was to happen, they might lose eyesight if that ever happened. Yeah. But they're never going to lose their vision.
That's true.
And I love that part of it. Is and that's what I hope that they can see in me, and will continue to see in me, is that mom continues to have vision without her eyesight, and that vision for my life has just become more bright and beautiful.
Yeah.
It's growing and changing and evolving, and
So Joy, like you mentioned with your modeling, did you model before you lost all of your sight, or was that after you?
I've always been a performer, and being in front of the camera has always been something I've done, being just a singer and that sort of thing. But no, I really didn't come into this at all. And so I didn't really understand my love for it. And until I lost the ability to see. And that's so crazy, because I can't see my photos. I can't see, I can't use a magnifier anymore to zoom in and it's just been, I think that for me, it's I feel good in my body. I feel good in my spirit. I feel good. And I want people who have eyesight to be able to see that confidence, because there's so much negativity against disabilities. The focus on that is just so poor. And I'm I want to show the world that can see what us blind people can be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever get this, but so many of us do, is you don't look like a blind person. And
you don't look blind.
Yeah, exactly. And
what does blindness look like?
I know, exactly, right? Does it look like Stevie Wonder? And yes, I love you, Stevie, but not all of us play the piano. And like it is interesting because I think there is sort of the stereotype of what blindness is supposed to look like. And so when there are people like you and so many of the people I interview that are out there doing really amazing, incredible things, but also those people that are doing really normal things like going to church or riding the bus or walking their children to get ice cream, whatever it is that we all do, that sighted people are just so amazed.
Oh, yeah.
They're just amazed. Yeah, exactly. They're blinded by the stereotype.
Yes, that's what I was meaning.
Yeah. So I just think it's absolutely amazing that you are doing something that's so visual that
I love it.
But
I
it's
love
almost
it so much.
Yeah, it's almost like you're doing this unselfish job because you're not like you said, like you can't even look at it with a magnifier or whatever. My husband is a professional photographer, and as I've lost my vision more and more and more, and I'm at the point now, I really can't appreciate when he hands me a photo or tries to blow it up for me to see. And I'm just like, I can't, but I appreciate his passion. And also I hear the comments from his clients about how it changed their lives and their perspective, or he captured a moment that's really dear to them. Like that part I can understand. So, but yeah, it is really awesome, that you're out there. And then also, you're very fit. And this is the one topic I really wanted to get into because I know I used to be a runner and I still ski. I have a cast on my left wrist right now with 3 fractures. No. Hopefully it comes off on Monday, but it hurts to work out. Like it hurts. I still do it as, probably not as much as I should be doing right at the moment, but I still run and hike and ski because I know if I don't, I'm going to lose, even though it hurts, I'm going to lose it. And so, can you talk about, and I have another friend, Gina, you're out there. We talked about this, about when you are blind or visually impaired and you want to be fit, you have to kind of rely on other people. Like I have a lot of runner friends and it's like they can't just walk out their front door and take off into their neighborhood. What do you have any sort of basics that people out there that might want to, increase their health, with fitness? Like, where do you even start?
Well, so I used to be a runner too when I had some limited eyesight, and I took my last run, right before I had surgery, and it wasn't a great one, but it was enough. But I want to get back into that I need a sighted, guide to run with me. But and since I lost that, I try to find other ways because I have this love for being fit and staying in shape. It's just something I've always done. And so I just started doing at-home workouts. So, you don't even have to have you can do if you have any ability to any equipment or that sort of thing, but I didn't have that all the time. So, access to that. So I just started, I even would run stationary in my house, holding onto a chair.
Yeah.
Or my kitchen sink or something where I would just run in place and I have my Fitbit on, and I've done that where I'm just getting out on my steps and going up and down my stairs, because you can do that when you're blind.
That's
and
true.
Going up and down my stairs and doing that sort of thing for like cardio. And then I love squats. I love squats. So I do like just like my own workouts from my abs to, working out with squats and doing, leg lifts, like hold onto the kitchen chair or table and lifting your leg, even brushing my teeth. As I'm brushing my teeth, I still do this.
Great.
I raise my leg up from behind me and do like leg press, like lifts, pulsate your leg or whatever. Behind you, and then switch it out, and it helps us brushing your teeth faster. And sometimes you're too, or you go longer because you're like, no, I got to get in 10 more. So I've done that, and I've really seen some amazing results with just doing body weight resistance training, just at home with no bands, nothing, and using my stairs or like a coffee table, and like do like push-ups, use that, to do elevated push-ups or dips, turning around and putting your hands on the stair. And you can change like the feet, like pushing them out, walking them out further, or a higher or lower step, just to get different intensity and level of fitness there. And those are just some of the things that I've done. And, and then just recently I started doing personal training and meeting with a personal trainer. And it was only because I have these other goals that I really want to get to meet. And I needed a trainer to help me get there, because I'm like, okay, I've done all these things. I have really good, abs and muscles, but I want to get more of like the 6-pack abs, and I
further, really right? Step it up. Further. Yeah.
People are like, well, why do you want to go? You don't need to go to, say personal trainer. You look amazing. I'm like, but it's not about looking like I want to better and grow and be stronger than I've been. And it's good. And it also makes I suffer with mental health issues. Yeah. So for me, fitness just makes me feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was going to say that too, is that even like getting up and stretching can make you feel better about yourself. And I think
the hardest thing is just getting up and doing it.
Yeah. Maybe they can use that song to help them.
Joy.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. And that is a great song to do that too. I'll sit there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like my best drill sergeant. That's what my husband told me. Joy, you have a drill sergeant built in you. Because I'm like, come on. I talk to myself as I'm doing my workouts, and I'm like, come on, Joy, one more. Come on.
Yeah.
One more. You can do it. Come on. It's funny. So that song helps me though.
That's so, I know. I can't wait to put it on my, I can't say her name or else she'll come on my smart speaker after we get off. So another thing, Joy, that I saw that on Facebook that you have been doing ketamine therapy or treatments. I don't know. Yeah. Can you share what that is and what are the benefits that you're hoping to gain from that?
Well, I'm already reaping benefits, and it's amazing. That ketamine therapy, I mean, lots of people have heard of ketamine, and they'll say, oh, it's just horse tranquilizer and blah, blah, blah. Like, I hear, like, a lot of negative people, like, will say, that's such a strong... But ketamine, and it's also known, like, especially in the 90s, as this drug, like, the street drug was called Special K.
Oh, okay.
Have you heard of that?
Yes, I have, actually.
So it's not a hallucinogen, but a lot of people think it is. But it's not. But it is a dissociative drug.
And they also use it as an anesthesia, right? Isn't ketamine one of the anesthesias? Yeah.
Right. And every hospital they have it. So, but they have found that ketamine at a certain dosage level can really change the neural pathways in the brain. And it just helps to create new pathways. And when you suffer from severe depression, and like for me also bipolar disorder, anxiety, what can happen in the brain is that you have these tread marks, like imagine, like, right, you have these marks in your brain. This is a path that go, and the more you go around and around, it gets harder to get out of those ruts, right?
Yes.
And the ruts get deeper and deeper and deeper, and your brain can't even figure out, like, how do I veer off this pathway and do something different? And that's where you get to the place of feeling like hopeless, or you're like, you can't get out. There's no way out.
Right.
But with ketamine, and mine is given through, and there's different forms it's given, but in the clinics in the clinic I go to, and many clinics it is given through IV.
Okay.
So yes, it lays down a blanket of snow, and it just it gives you the perspective of, it gives you a new perspective and the ability to go, well, I could maybe go and do this over here, or maybe it just changes your thoughts, and it's tremendous.
Wow.
I came to this point where I was like, okay, even this was an option after suffering from such chronic, like, severe depression this past year.
Oh.
Literally, even in December, we're almost in March here, but literally I was contemplating suicide.
Oh, sweetie.
And
sorry.
So severe. And not that I would, it was just like, it was a thought of like, I can't get out. I'm miserable. I live in I live in a sense of nothing in a way, because my eyes never see light. They don't see anything. So it's like, how do I, and I'm constantly feeling this emotion and devastation and sadness, and like, there's just no way out. And my family, no one can help me. They can love me and encourage me, but nothing was changing it. And I got to the point of, like, even holding a knife up to my wrist. And I'm like, not that I just wanted to see, like, okay, this is what I've come to, like, this is, and I was just like, this is not what I need help. And I'm like beating my head against the wall. Like, I need help. Like, what's wrong with me? And so my husband, one night we're laying in bed and we were just online, and he's like searching. I'm like, please, we got to find me something. And so we were talking about magic mushrooms and these sort of things. We heard about them helping. And so that kind of took us down this one path, and it led us to ketamine.
Wow. Well, and that's awesome that it's helping, like, because, there are so many things out there. And when you hit that place where this is going to get ugly fast, if something doesn't change, that it's,
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And that it's awesome that it works, that it is working. Yeah.
There was such positive, like, everything that we could find on this drug on YouTube, like, just search for ketamine therapy. It was all positive. Like, everybody's these experiences that people would have. I'm like, oh my gosh, this one woman, it resonated with me, and she had a similar experience like me. And every time I would go, I didn't even want to go to sleep at night, because nights were my worst, because that's when the world's quiet.
Yes. Yeah.
I have non-24 sleep-wake disorder. And I'm just like, oh my God, I've hit this wall of, like, feeling like, oh, we got to do this again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and it's dreadful. Like, and so, I started searching, and I have a psychiatrist, and I called up their clinic, and they told me about the ketamine clinic literally across the street. And I'm like, what? There's a ketamine clinic across the street.
This is a sign, right?
Oh my gosh. So I called immediately. They put in the referral, and I basically have resistant depression. So nothing I've tried has worked. And so,
so you were able to get into the ketamine clinic, and how long was it immediate, like your first treatment, or?
So it was 2 weeks of therapy. And so it was 6 sessions. So like Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I came in, they put me in a recliner, and it's just really cozy. And they hooked me up with an IV, get the IV going. Of course, they do all your vital signs, that sort of thing. And they put a blood pressure cuff on you. Yeah, they hook you up to EKGs and pulsometer. And so you're fully monitored by physicians, and then they, obviously answer any of your questions, but they're there monitoring. They have a camera on you. So if they're in another room, they can come back in. They're constantly watching. and my husband was with me, and I videoed my ketamine journey. So with my session starting in January, and so you can see that on my YouTube channel, Joy Ross. So actually, we have one more video to edit right now. So, but the first week is on there, and it was amazing. The first session, they started me at 40 milligrams. So I didn't have any music I didn't have headphones or anything. And I was able to talk kind of to my husband pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then the second session, it just went up to 50 milligrams, and then 60, 70. And finally I was up to 80 on the last Friday.
Okay.
And with every session, I added some, the second session, I added headphones so it canceled out noise around me. And so I could really, and I put some light music on. So they encourage you to do music like with no lyrics, just instrumental, something that brings you comfort, and it can help the flow of the ketamine. And the feeling I expressed I say on my videos is like, it was the most beautiful, amazing, joyful, comforting feeling, pleasure. It was like, I was like swimming in an ocean of peace and tranquility and sensations. Yes. You feel things like movement. I felt movement, and like the music and everything was just so much more powerful. I had hand warmers in my hand because my hands get cold, and the heat from the hand warmers in my hands, it was breathing life into my body through the heat, and it was insane. Wow. But the most wonderful thing, after it was all said and done, basically after the first 2 weeks, I knew after the first week, things started to change. Immediately, the first thing that left was my suicidal thoughts. That was gone after the first session.
Great.
No more. I've not had them come back since January 2nd.
Wow.
The second thing that left was anxiety. Disappeared
Wow.
completely. And then after the second week, complete depression, gone.
Wow.
I can still feel my emotions, and I have maybe some tearful moments, but they don't last.
Right.
And I can move past them. It just gives you the ability to cope with your emotions better. And I'm happy. I started immediately feeling encouraged to go and do things. So I haven't gone on my adventures like I normally do, like going out by myself on Uber with my cane.
Right.
Started going out, working out. I'm happy. I'm living life. I feel like I've got joy back. My joy has come back
in so many ways, right?
In so many ways. Like George said to someone the day, he goes, I feel like I got my wife back.
Oh.
And you don't know how much and my girls can see the difference in their mama. And I'm and my girls also suffer from mental health stuff too. And just kind of the thing. But because of, I think, me too, and going through this, and I'm able to understand them and in all of these areas. And we're as a family getting stronger. And I just want to, use the things that I have gone through and where I found strength from, to use it to inspire others.
Yeah.
There's hope. There's so much hope. If you have to keep searching. You can't give up. You can't let the darkness consume you and win.
Right.
I am a fighter, and I'm a go-getter.
Yes.
And I do not want to fail. I want to win. I look at my challenges as a game. I'm going to win. Whether I win it the first, I might not always win it, but I'm going to get back up and keep fighting until I win.
That's right. That's right. Mm-hmm. Well, Joy, I know you mentioned a little bit earlier, but I'll ask you here, is how do people follow you? I'll let you give the.
So YouTube, since we were just talking about YouTube, that is, if anyone just searches for Joy Ross or Blind Joy, you're going to find my channel. My channel is Joy Ross.
Yeah.
And I always say joy to the world and Ross dress for less.
Oh, there you go.
So Joy Ross for YouTube. And, even if anyone Googled me, you would find most of my, everywhere I'm at. But Instagram, I am Blind Joy Ross.
Nice.
And on TikTok, I'm the same, Blind Joy Ross.
Yeah.
And Facebook, I am through the eyes of joy.
You know. I know.
Yeah, through the eyes of joy. And I've thought about changing it, but I'm like, I love through the eyes of joy so much.
I do too. I love
I'm
it.
also just Joy Ross on Facebook as well, so people can send me friend requests, or you can publicly just follow me there. It's an open. Private. Me, it's not a private page. So
yeah.
But
so you are everywhere. That is one of the awesome things about social media, is that it really is changing those narratives of what people think those boxes should be that we stay in. So
I agree. And I know that there's a lot of even blind people are like, oh, well, we're not amazing when people say we're amazing. Well, I think it's amazing I sometimes think, not that Joy, you're so amazing. I'm amazed by myself.
Yes.
So I can understand if somebody else is amazed by me. And it's not that they don't think that we're capable. They're just like, they think about themselves. Like, I don't know how I would do it. Well, you figure it out.
Yeah. I agree with that. I know so many of us are like, stop saying I'm inspiring to you or whatever. But you're true. It's sort of like you're holding up a mirror to them, and it's you're doing something that they wish that they knew how, or had the courage to, or could obtain. I agree with that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Joy, and I look forward to this friendship blossoming.
You're welcome.
Well, and thank everybody out there for coming in, week after week after week, and all the wonderful things that you've shared with us. And definitely, thank AINC, because they do the hard work in the background. I get to do the fun part, but Jonathan, Evan, all of you guys. You guys are awesome. You're going to have a fun time with this one. Yes, you are. Yeah, Jonathan, you got your work cut out. But yeah, and then also, definitely check into the other original podcasts that we're doing. Evan and Jonathan are going to be launching Blind Level Tech. And that one is going to cover, everything from smartphone accessibility, voiceover apps, and everything that you need to know, just how to navigate through technology. And then also, because of some of the things, Joy, that you have said with these online platforms with social media, that would be a great topic for them to cover. So, well, Joy, thank you again. And
thank you so much. Yeah.
Absolutely. And everybody out there, be kind to yourself this week and find a way to be kind to someone else. It is good for your soul. Until next week.